So, und jetzt kommen wir zu Newslettern und Personalisierung und Twipe. Dann freue ich mich jetzt, dass wir gleich Dana Nastase sehen. Da ist sie. Hello, Dana. I haven't seen Luuk.
Luuk is on the line. I think I just heard from him, so he must be somewhere on the line. I don't know if you can.
Luuk, I don't see you with your name. If you are with another name, just please put your hand up so we can put you in.
That's
that's him. Let's see. Yeah. Where's the hand? Where's the hand? Ah, here it is. So,
okay.
So, Luuk, your camera is not on and your micro is off. Now we have you, and you have the name of my dear colleague Jennifer. You are perfect. You are perfect. So,
good morning.
Good morning. I make a short introduction in German. Hopefully you understand a bit, but it's very short, and then the floor is yours. Also, liebe Zuschauerinnen, liebe Zuschauer, jetzt kommt ein heißes Thema, noch ein heißes Thema, dürfen wir sagen, Newsletter-Personalisierung. Und wir freuen uns, dass wir Dana Nastase von Twipe haben und Luuk von NRC Media. NRC Media ist bei uns beim BDZV schon des Öfteren da gewesen. Wir kennen Matthijs van de Peppel und Xavier van Leuwe. Also wir freuen uns wieder über den Input, weil das Thema ist gut, die Fallstudie ist gut, also dann Bühne frei.
Bühne frei. I will share my screen. I hope you can see my screen. And
Perfect.
I hope also the slides are moving. I will try that. Moving. All right. So thanks everybody for being here, and also wonderful to be in this session also together with the other participants. I will go quickly a bit through it because I know Luuk has a hard stop at 11. So we'll try to go quickly through it. We're here to talk to you about how NRC actually uses personalization technology we developed at Twipe called James to drive reader habits and retention. I'm just going to quickly give 2 words about Twipe. So we are working with newspaper publishers to drive digital subscription business growth through edition technology. So things like e-papers or new digital editions, edition analytics. And today is about personalization and personalized reading lists with James. We work with a variety of publishers in Europe and internationally. So France, UK, Scandinavia, the US, and some titles in Germany. And we're happy to get also your questions afterwards in the networking session. So very briefly about James. We started James as a research project, the Google D&I project, together with the Times. And we wanted actually to test in this research project, to experiment how we can drive retention and business growth with personalized newsletters. We did a number of experiments with more than 100,000 readers, tested a variety of models for content personalization, time personalization, so a variety of personalization and optimization models. And what we've seen is at the Times strong impact on retention, so halving of the churn for the people who are exposed, strong interaction of the readers who are participating, so who are targeted with these personalized emails, as well as being able to target that group of people who are low to medium engaged. I'm not going to go through the details of it. If you want, there is a report, a white paper published. You can access it via the QR code, and I think Jochen will share the slides also afterwards. But essentially, after the research project, that was 2019, the Times continued to use James internally, and we are now on a journey to productize that. And the reason why we're doing that very briefly is for driving habit formation. So newsletters are key triggers for habit formation. And we heard also Susie Watford from the Wall Street Journal talking about that in the sessions yesterday for those who were there. And we are studying quite a lot at Twipe. What does habit formation mean? This is a framework you may know is from a guy called Nir Eyal, who studied, okay, how can we now create or design products with habit formation in mind? And at Twipe, we're looking at how emails and newsletters play that role. I'm happy to answer more questions and go more in depth about it in the networking session afterwards. I think because there's a lot that can be talked about it, but ultimately what we're looking at is frequency. So with newsletters, we want to be able to drive people to engage with your content, with the content that the editorial teams are producing 3 days per week. We've seen that 3 days per week is what we call the tipping point of habit formation. If people are in that bucket, then we are able to keep them there over a period of time. It takes time to form habits. We see that they stay. Again, there's a lot of research we've done in the field. There's a research report available discussing this more in depth. You can find it on our website or via the QR code. But essentially it's about these 3 days per week or 10 days per month. And I'm just gonna illustratively show one of the charts that is most famous, let's say, in the James project that we're looking at. So we're always looking at reader journeys. So this is kind of a before and after exposure to James personalized newsletters. We're looking at how many more habitual readers have we been able to generate. And essentially this dark green box is what we're looking to increase. And we see that, for example, that people who are habitual, they stay. So we're trying to drive these journeys from no interaction to one-time interaction to 2 to 10 times per month interaction to 10 or more times per month interaction. So that's the goal of James. That's what we're after with the personalized newsletters. So come 2020, after we finished the project with the Times, we launched the James Launch Partner Program, which is a program for further experimenting with personalized newsletters. And then we're working in the meantime with a number of great partners in this program. So Daily Mail, NRC, and you're going to hear more about that from Luuk, Børsen in Denmark. And these are some of the newsletters that we are currently exposing already to more than 200,000 readers in total. And then I'm just going to share 2 learnings more from my overall point of view, and then I'm going to hand over to Luuk. What do we see? Now we're 1 year in the James Launch Partner Program. We see an uplift of 26% in habitual readers for the cohorts that are exposed to James. So more frequency, more habitual readers, which drives more retention. Now, habitual reading is something that we measure at Twipe and with James. I know a lot of publishers out there do not measure habitual reading. So we also looked at metrics like open rates or click rates, which are easier to benchmark. So what you see here on the left-hand side, we're looking at industry averages of emails. This was a report published actually in Germany from InexMail, where average open rates of emails and click rates of emails in our industry are about 33% open rates, 3.3 click rates. But we did a survey, and we asked 54 different people responded to that survey. We asked them, what's the open rate and the click rate of your best performing newsletter? And there we could see that with James newsletters, where we have open rates depending from customers to customer, a bit 35% up to 50%. We'll also see from Luuk how that looks at NRC, and click rates of 10% up to 15%, depending a bit from customers to customer. We were pleased to see after this 1 year of Launch Partner Program and the learnings that we've gathered, that with the James automated personalized newsletters for readers, we're able to be in around the same range as the best performing newsletters. So I think that's all from my side, kind of an intro to what we do at Twipe and James with James, and I'm going to hand over actually to Luuk, who's going to guide us through the case at NRC.
Yes, thanks, Dana. And first, a short introduction about NRC. And we are a quality liberal newspaper in the Netherlands, based in Amsterdam. And we've got 2 print editions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, evening. So as a print reader, you can already choose the edition which suits your habit. And at the moment, we have 300,000 subscribers, a milestone we reached last month. And never before we had this amount of subscribers, so that's a big achievement for us. Online is in the heart of our newsroom. So we, for instance, publish digital first. And selection for the site is based on editorial decisions, but we also closely monitor real-time data, and we work data informed, but not data driven. We have a metered paywall on our website. We launched that in 2015. And one last thing, we have no tracking cookies on our website. As we call it, journalism is our product, not the reader or subscriber. We don't sell personal data. And that was some information about NRC. Now more about our newsletter strategy. Before starting with James, we had 23 newsletters, all curated by editors. So there was no automation and no personalization. We have 2 big daily newsletters, which is a morning briefing and an evening edition. And then we have 21 niche newsletters, from science to books, from food to podcast. And each newsletter has its own KPIs. And a newsletter size varies from 10 to 80K readers for the niche newsletters. The big daily have 110,000 subscribers. So this is more about the infrastructure we had at NRC. So why did we start James? Well, first, our current process is time consuming if you're doing everything yourself. Secondly, at NRC, we are exploring personalization, not as a product, but as a service for our readers. So the personalized aspect was something for us to start with James. And next to that, the activation of our readers, it's essential for NRC. So strategy for NRC is to activate our subscribers to engage on our digital platforms. So these 3 things combined made us start with James. And that led to NRC Middag, as we call it to our readers. It's an automated and personalized lunchtime briefing for our subscribers. Every day at 12 o'clock, we send out a newsletter with 12 articles from today's content pool. It's subscriber only. We are doing this now for 10 months. We started in August of last year, and it's powered by the James algorithm. And what we wanted to test with the project was not only personalized newsletters, but since we didn't have any experience with automated newsletters, we also wanted to explore the differences between automated newsletters and personalized newsletters. So we made 2 different campaigns. One is trending, so not based on a personalized algorithm, but it takes the top read articles at a specific time of the day. And it excludes article which a subscriber has already read. So that's the trending version. And then we have a personalized version, and that's based on the James algorithm. And that's a mix of personalized and trending. So that's based on reading behavior, where we can see what people are reading on a website. And we also have the clicks in the newsletters. And it excludes the articles which somebody has already read. So 2 different campaigns with 2 different cohorts. Well, to be honest, 3 different cohorts, because we also had a control group. And these cohorts are based on the same criteria. So when we selected the email addresses for these cohorts, everybody had the same criteria in it. But the control group gives us really nice insights to see what the impact is for the trending and the personalized version. So we started with 40,000 of our subscribers, 20,000 for the trending and 20,000 for the personalized cohort. And before sharing some results, I would first like to share some other things. We started in August 2020 and we have 10 months of experimentation ready. And to be honest, I think the fun part starts after launching your first newsletter. It was a lot of work from Twipe and NRC to prepare this project, investigating software, checking and creating all the data pipelines, creating the data lake, testing the newsletter templates, the algorithm training, the setup. A lot of work to be done, all critical aspects, but be aware that the real work starts after launching your first newsletter. And that is one of the first bullet over here. What your product or service may be, improve it by testing, 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 and testing. And that is what we learned from this project. Some other points: make sure to have regular data deep dives for driving new experiments, and aim high when setting up these experiments. And two other important things: listen to the two most important stakeholders in such a project. First, the reader. So we did a survey which gave us great feedback, which we wouldn't receive through our daily data. And next to the reader, involve the newsroom in a project like this. We are challenged each day by the newsroom to improve the newsletter. So yeah, involve your most important stakeholders. Some results. As you can see, NRC Middag has higher open rates than our two big other newsletters. And also the click rate is better. So that looks really promising. And we can see that NRC Middag is making some impact over here. But more interesting for us is that we see that the personalized mails have achieved a 22% increase in habitual reading. So readers who have read 3 times or more in a week, or 10 in the last 30 days. So this is really big for us. And if you, yeah, and here you can even see that the difference between the trending and the personalized newsletter. So even the trending newsletter is performing much better than the non-exposed subscribers. But we can also see that the personalized one is performing better than the trending one. And really interesting advantage as well for the newsroom is that, because there's always a bit of how do I call it? Not everybody is as enthusiastic on the newsroom about personalization as some other people might be. But one really interesting thing is what we see over here, that more articles of NRC are served to the public. So 80 to 90% of our daily articles are exposed to at least one person. So that's a broader selection, a broader plate for our subscribers. And that's a really interesting thing to see, that more articles are being read by our subscribers. I think this was the last slide of me. And I have until, I have 5 more minutes, so we have some time.
So thank you, Luuk. I think if because if you will not be in the networking session, then I guess people may, if there are questions, people might reach out to you. 2 more slides from my side, just to kind of recap. So 4 key learnings from this quick intro into how James works and how the results that we've seen at NRC. So we see that indeed with James newsletter, we're able to engage readers and achieve comparable open and click rates with the best performing newsletters out there. We see that we're able to drive habit formation with significantly more growth in habitual reading. So this reading 10 days per month or more. And we see that higher in the exposed groups compared to the non-exposed groups. So we see that, by the way, we see that in the case of NRC, but also with other customers with which we also work experimentally with control groups and exposed versus non-exposed cohorts. And then when exposing readers to newsletters, we see that it does matter what we're putting in front of them. I think one of the, so like Luuk mentioned, one of the challenges that the team of NRC gave to us was, okay, we're sending newsletters, but is it about the newsletter only, or does it really matter what we put in the newsletter? And that's why we said, okay, let's take that challenge. And we started this experiment with trending and personalized in parallel, where we see that personalization matters. So we see that personalized emails are performing better than the trending ones in creating habitual behavior. And I think, as Luuk mentioned, honestly, one of the nice surprises that we had from the newsroom when going through the Launch Partner Program was the newsroom spontaneously actually coming and say, we actually like this because more of the content that's produced every day ends up in front of readers, which wouldn't happen if we're only selecting maybe 10 or 12 of the articles of the day. So the Launch Partner Program is, thank you, Luuk, for joining us. So the Launch Partner Program is something that we're still recruiting launch partners for. It's indeed a kind of a 9-month program in which we're kind of getting set up, sending emails, and then we are collaborating for a period. We propose 6 months in this experimentation phase and the testing that Luuk was talking about. So if you want to learn more, let's talk in the networking session, or you can contact me directly